gets too serious. So this is very important for school minds because we're making this transition in the future for LEED certification and become, a green campus. And a lot of the current heating and cooling on campus is through the facilities plant, which runs steam or condensed water through underground tunnels to each building. This could easily be utilized for geothermal purposes. Geo-exchange fields could be placed anywhere from underneath each and every building, underneath parking lots, underneath the football field once it's due for a new resurfacing. So that's a great asset to utilize that tunnel system. This is a table I generated of possible financial plan for the school mines. The number thing we're looking at is getting a big name on the building. BHP is a local electricity cooperative, you can call it BH Power, and we're looking at anywhere from $20 to $25 million donation for this $34 million facility. At that point, then you can start naming each facility within the sports complex, anywhere from the main track arena to the main throwing arena, main basketball court, auxiliary courts, and then you step down to smaller spaces such as each track lane, each throwing ring, each locker room. You could ask for a donation anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 from local businesses. Now this may not be a whole lot in terms of your total $34 million project, but that really helps out with maintenance costs and any smaller things in the future. Just recently, our student association passed a survey as well as an official vote for a future student wellness center and recreation area. This facility will feature, let's see here, I have a table further of the actual survey results, and anywhere from a rock climbing wall to a weight room to just typical wellness devices. And if we can pull this rec center into the sports complex, we give the students more for their money. They can use our track, they can use the basketball courts, they have more space to work with, as well as we get that extra funding for construction. So I believe it's a win-win situation there. This is a picture here of our current football field on campus, and they actually named the stadium and the field separately. So that just shows a good idea there of what's currently going on. This is a picture of Fargo Dome in Fargo, North Dakota, which was funded by a half-cent sales tax by the city, which currently has a $30 million surplus. Even with that surplus, Gate City Bank wants to put their name on the field for $1 million. So that just shows what companies are looking at just to put their name on these facilities and how eager they are to get that exposure. This is your survey results. This was generated out of a number of 10. Number one request by students was an open weight room. And this is the official results down here to increase the student tuition by $10 per credit hour. Again, if we could pull that funding into our facility, that would be a great asset and funding device to have. These pictures are from USD's new Student Wellness Center. That center column there is a rock climbing wall, and this picture to the top left is auxiliary spaces with a 120-meter track around the perimeter, around the top. So that's pretty neat. This is really important for school minds because of our current transition to NCAA D2 athletics. Our current facilities on campus for athletics is pretty much mainly just that outdoor track. If we're to acquire this indoor track and a larger venue for basketball games, we're going to have NCAA teams at our door wanting to come in and compete with us. The plan calls for a 200-meter track. I'd like to push for a 300-meter track. If we can do that, we have Colorado schools coming down from 6,000 feet of elevation to 3,000. They're running on these wider turns. They're going to qualify for nationals a lot easier. Some that CU Boulder and CSC are even looking at doing. LEED certification, you see South Dakota and general Midwest is kind of behind on building greener buildings and construction projects. So this is a great initiative for the state to get into those LEED certified constructions. So in summary, I talked about the placement of this sports complex, how we can utilize geothermal technologies to make it the most efficient building in the state, as well as future exploits and benefits. I briefly talked about a financial plan to make this work. As of right now, we need to acquire that land directly south of campus, do some soil testing, and on that land actually lay out a design for the geo-exchange field, and then let the students know about this project. So at this time, do I have any technical questions for my colleague? Yes, sir.
Carlos Beatty from the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. I guess because excellent concept, by the way, but with the financial plan, do you see any perspectives from the Rapid City area, which School of Mines resides in, from doing a potential half-cent increase to fund a building like this? And do you also see maybe incorporating or going with this presentation to convince the city that most of the buildings in Rapid City should be transitioned to geothermal? Because we do sit in a very active area.
Yeah. Thank you. What was your first question on the?
I guess to sum it up overall, can you see Rapid City using this and taking this as a sample to incorporate into the rest of the city?
Very possible, yes. And again, if we go to the city board and talk to them about this plan and basically offer them access to this facility, they'll definitely put some money down and to get their public schools into this facility and to utilize that space. What was your second question then?
Could you see the incorporation of geothermal technology into other entities throughout the city?
Easily, very easily. The only issue with geothermal is the initial up cost, but then you see that the financial plan, financially you're making up for it down the road in as close as 10 years. And these geothermal fields will last up to 100 years, so it's pretty much limitless on the benefits of this facility and why we wouldn't want to do something like that. So, anybody else?
You said that they're $76,000 a month at the elementary school.
Correct.
What percentage of that of their monthly bill is that? Is that 100%? Is that 5%?
That's darn close to 100%. I believe they pretty much all of their heating and cooling was before through gas, and now they're paying $300 a month in gas for their kitchen. So we're looking at, and these heat, the
so
pumps.
They're paying $6,300. They're paying $6,300.
They're saving $6,000 a month.
So those roughly numbers.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. See, I'll have to get a hold of them and figure that out. But the way they explain it is that they're saving that $6,000, and their only utility bill is $300 a month for gas for the kitchen.
And electricity.
And electricity being a very large facility for academics. So.
How much was the system?
Their system they put down, I believe, $700,000. It's pretty neat because they put it underneath their football field, which is due for a new renovation. So they got a new football field as well as this geothermal system. So that was a really good trade-off for them. Yes, sir?
You talked about being LEED certified. I know that's kind of like a driver right now for people building new buildings and stuff. But what's the driver there? I mean, do you get tax credits? Why?
It's the way I see it. You do get those rebates and incentives from the government at a city, state, and national level. And then you're also looking at the state requiring that all new government facilities be LEED certified. So this geothermal system would help out a lot there. You also have to talk about the water and the electricity and other aspects to make it fully LEED certified, but this helps out quite a bit. So, yes, sir?
What tier of LEED certification are you aiming for?
Silver.
Okay.
Talked about putting your drill holes inside of the steam tunnels that already exist. You get a drilling rig inside a steam tunnel?
We're not exactly putting the wells inside of it, but transporting your flow from each geothermal field to the power plant and or back to each building.
So using it as a complex?
Yes, using it for transport. Yep.
So I think you showed the picture of the school and it had like 4 or 5 heat pumps. How big is the school and how many heat pumps would the new sports facility require?
Sure. It depends a lot. You can get pumps from the size of this room down to the size of your fist. So it doesn't really depend on the number of pumps, just the design of the project. We're probably going to be looking at 2 pumps, one for each loop at least, in case one goes down. You could still run the other one. And it really depends on the size of your field and the heating and cooling requirement for the size of each pump.
You talked about having shale 30 feet down.
Yes.
Is that tough to